Right now, the media is buzzing about the new Detective Pikachu movie and, of course, the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Detective Pikachu is upon us right now, and the Sonic movie is said to be coming out in November of 2019. Clearly, one is better than the other, however, both of them will be wildly successful. They are both masterclasses of marketing to create buzz, and if you just look anywhere on the internet, you can see it's clearly worked. The Pikachu movie will be seen as the standard figurehead for future video game movies, and it did take risks, transforming the lovable Pokemon into the real world, drastically changing their design. It's standard for movies forcing fantasy into the real world, but often with far worse results. Part of the reason this one works is because it successfully balances the real-world horror of what Pokemon would genuinely look like, whilst placing it in a pseudo-fantasy world where everything here is normal, and visually meshes well with the Pokemon designs. Not to mention, the story takes a basis off an actual Pokemon game, albeit a spin-off one, rather than making something completely original and off-topic. By not following the story absolutely directly, but taking a somewhat familiar approach while remaining unique, the Detective Pikachu movie is set to be one of the greatest video game movies of all time for quite a while. And more importantly, it's gonna make a lot of money. And then there's the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. The Sonic movie will be seen as an unconventional figurehead for future unstable video game movies, and it did take risks, transforming the lovable snarky 90s Sonic into the real world, drastically changing their design. It's standard for movies forcing fantasy into the real world, but often with far better results. And yet, this will work, and part of the reason it works is because it horrendously balances the real-world horror of what Sonic would actually look like, whilst placing it in a pseudo-fantasy world where everything here is mostly normal and visually clashes with the Sonic the Hedgehog design. Not to mention, the story is just like every other video game movie plot ever, albeit an uninventive and boring one rather than something generically exciting. By not following its own path in any which way, but taking a somewhat familiar approach while remaining very noticeable, the Sonic the Hedgehog movie is set to be one of the greatest ironic video game movies of all time for quite a while. And more importantly, despite everything, it's gonna make a lot of money. I mean, sure, Sonic is now being redesigned, but as many others have speculated before, the entire events of this Sonic movie reveal process has been one giant marketing campaign, hooking viewers into the concept of a Sonic movie, creating the maximum buzz with its clear, jarring appearance, garnering an ironic movie audience for those who want to witness a train wreck, and then magically fixing it for the fans to win over those who want a genuine movie experience. All while using minimal resources and budgeting to produce a movie with maximum profits, something most video game movies of the past have failed to achieve. So with these two movies gaining massive attention, popularity, and moolah, naturally, more such movies will follow suit. The Fast and Furious films were made out of passion, but profits. Now, obviously, most fans would hope and pray that every video game movie from here on out will be given the same kind of structure as Detective Pikachu, but chances are, with the upcoming success of the Sonic movie, I expect we'll start seeing two branching types of video game movies coming in. The new-ish approach of Detective Pikachu, appreciating the source material whilst diverging into new territory with each film, and the bog-standard approach of Sonic the Hedgehog, boosted by the extra views of an ironic audience. Now, Nintendo has tried to make a movie in the past with Super Mario Bros. In 1993 to overwhelming failure, but this could potentially be a turning point for the company. Obviously, Detective Pikachu is being handled slightly separately since it's being produced through a collaboration of Warner Bros. And the Pokemon Company specifically, but there is also news of a new Super Mario Bros. Movie being made, produced by notable Shigeru Miyamoto and animated by Illumination Entertainment, the creators behind generic, broad audience films. And honestly, looking at the details, it seems like it could be a strange amalgamation of both Detective Pikachu and Sonic the Hedgehog. Obviously, we know no plot details, but as a start, it appears to be a fully animated production, and judging by the Illumination art style, I get the sense it will be like a 2-hour-long cutscene visually similar to Mario and Rabbids. visually, it'll likely look pretty good. The visual design of the Mario characters will mesh smoothly with the world around it because it's being entirely made from the ground up. The animation team are also notoriously accessible for a younger audience, which is of course perfectly fitting for the family-friendly nature of the games. On the other hand, many productions of Illumination Entertainment are criticized for being a basic checklist of uninvesting artwork, potentially stripping the source material into its most basic and unoriginal form. But then, turning back again, there is the fact that Shigeru Miyamoto is sat in the producing chair this time, and is regarded as being pretty good at what he does for the most part. Plus, him being such an iconic part of the company makes it safe to say that this won't be some weird cash grab created by a separate company who managed to obtain the rights or anything. And after the presumed success of Detective Pikachu and potentially this new Super Mario movie, you can be damn sure that even more will follow that. Whether it be a direct sequel to the Detective Pikachu movie with more talking Pokemon, another mystery to decide, a movie based on another spin-off, or a Team Rocket spin-off with a talking Meowth. And with this Super Mario movie, especially under the Illumination banner, if it is a massive success, you can be certain there will be a multitude of sequels to follow closely behind it. In fact, a joke image that has begun making cycles around the internet is this image here regarding the Nintendo Cinematic Universe. Now, of course, Sonic wouldn't quite be considered as a Nintendo product, nor would they really want this kind of Sonic connected to them, and there's also other IPs here that don't quite fall under the Nintendo wing, but regardless, it's very possible that we could start seeing the film industry moving into this kind of direction. I'm not quite saying that there will be some Star Fox movie specifically in the likes of Guardians of the Galaxy, but perhaps with films of this topic moving into success, more companies like Capcom and Konami will try to enter the ring. And perhaps even after a bit of time and success with each film, we would start to get crossover productions. Something like a Super Smash Bros. Movie could become a reality, especially if it specifically stayed within full-blown animation, as that would be easier to incorporate other characters. Or who knows, maybe Super Mario will be the odd one out, and the truly successful followings will come from the CGI live-action films as more and more are added to the filmic roster. We've already seen how overtly successful the Marvel Cinematic Universe has become, and if DC can't pop up as a valiant rival, then we could perhaps find a rival from the gaming industry rather than another brand of the comic industry. However the future ends up unfolding, I feel we're only just on the cusp of some truly great movies in the making. The Detective Pikachu movie will be a giant success for finally being a charming, fun video game movie that's actually good. And the Sonic the Hedgehog movie will go down as one of the greatest curiosity film pieces of our generation, reaping in a multitude of viewers just from its pure agonizing design. Also, Jim Carrey will be pulling in some classic viewers too. On the foundation of these two films, alongside the animated Super Mario movie, I feel we're in for a lot more fan service and gaming representation on the big screen soon. Many films may attempt to reveal new gaming IPs only to crash, burn, and reignite with intentional misfiring a la Sonic the Hedgehog, whilst others will follow a similar formula to Detective Pikachu to create a genuinely interesting and unique video game movie. Or if they can't, then at least the Pokemon company know what they're doing. And perhaps with the general state of the film industry and large-scale franchises these days, we could very well see something as chaotic and mind-blowing as the video game cinematic universe. We'll see our Zeldas, our sequels, and our crossover episodes, and one day we could finally be able to sit back, relax, and consume our favorite video games on our consoles, followed by the bigger ambitious story on the big screen. But that's just one optimistic thought based off of a couple trailers and observing a lot of potential money flying around. But tell me, what are your thoughts on this kind of scenario? Do you believe we're on the cusp of a golden age of video game movies? Or do you think that after Detective Pikachu, all further movies will continue to flop? Do you think the Sonic movie will be wildly successful despite the obvious flaws? And can you see more gaming IPs successfully joining the mix? And would you even watch it? What kind of films would you enjoy? Mario and Sonic crossovers? Classic stories in a new style? Spin-off representation? Or just anything based on your favorite franchises? Whatever your thoughts, I would love to hear more of your potential ideas for the film industry and their connections with video games. But you've heard enough of my thoughts, so I better end it off here. My name's been Daz, you didn't really care, and I'll see you in a bit. Also, let me know if you'd be interested in hearing more movie content from me. Obviously, here it works pretty seamlessly, but I can see myself talking about it more. Anyway, enough talk. See ya.